we're back with Let's Play Donkey Kong Country. We are now in the second world, Monkey Mines, where we are about to be introduced to a new animal buddy. One that we'll be seeing a lot in this world. It's Winky the Frog. Wow, that is a big fucking frog to be able to carry a monkey, but I'll take it. It's fiction or video games or whatever. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't have to make sense. I should really stop taking video game logic at face value because it never makes sense, and I should stop trying to make sense out of it. Anyway, this is Winky the Frog. He jumps extremely high and can kill pretty much everything by jumping on it, including bees and those fat helmet guys we saw on the first level. And yeah, big fucking frog. But that's it for now. We'll be seeing a lot more of Winky, especially in this world. Oh, we can visit Cranky Kong, except we're not going to because I already showed him off and he's pointless. So let's skip the entire level. Warp zone. Some levels have warp barrels, taking you to this crazy place that allow you to immediately skip to the end, and that's the level. And this level doesn't have any bonus rooms, so you won't miss anything. You'll still get the 100%. Because, look, there's an exclamation mark, but that's not a let's play. Go back and do the level. There you go. Oh yeah, this is a gimmick level. We ride the minecart the entire time, so the only thing we have to do is just jump at the right time. So this level can be pretty bitching without a second Kong or checkpoints. But yeah, it's a gimmick level. This game loves gimmick levels all over the place. Maybe not so much in the beginning, but trust me, later on almost every level is gonna be a gimmick level and it's not fun. Okay, what am I saying? It is fun, but some of the gimmicks can kiss my ass. I guess you sort of need gimmicks once in a while because this game does have a lot of levels and, well, it needs to be different every time, but there are other ways to do that than just gimmicks, and more gimmicks. We'll be seeing the minecart later on, by the way, just once, not 20 fucking times, like Donkey Kong Country Returns, and in this game they at least do something different with the minecart, as opposed to Donkey Kong Country Returns. And before someone asks, no, I don't hate Donkey Kong Country Returns. I just think it doesn't hold a candle against the original. Still a decent game though. Oh, this section is a pain in the ass. Jump! 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 For the love of God, Diddy Kong, jump! Jump like your life depends on it. Oh, we're at the end. Well, I showed off that level, even though I could have just skipped it with the warp zone, which I did, but then I went back and did the level again, and yada yada yada. Next level, we have a tire, which allows us to bounce. Right. We saw the tire in earlier levels, though I didn't really have time to point out what it is. They're pretty much springs. Some of them are stuck to the ground. If you don't press the jump button, you don't really bounce anywhere. And if you do press the bounce button or the jump button, you'll bounce high up to the sky like a big pizza pie. There are also loose tires, if you pardon the pun, that you pretty much have to roll around and take to a certain place, so it's kind of a puzzle gimmick to have you find the bonus room or get to the bonus room, like this one. This is a loose one. We need to take it to that moving platform so we can go up, and there's no bonus room up there, but it's the easier route. I like that. They make you work to get to the easier route. Though, now I think about it, I think we do need to be up here to get to this room, and we need to get to this room because there's a Winky in there, and we need a Winky to get to some of the bonus rooms later in the level. Though, I don't think you need Winky for those because you get a loose tire, but it makes it easier. For one, animal bodies are almost always a good thing to have around, with some exceptions I'll explain when we get to those exceptions. And moving the tire around can be a bitch, and it can also fall in bottomless pits by accident, and then you'll screw yourself out of the bonus room. So getting up to the higher path earlier is not a must, but it is a recommend. But you still need to keep out for, well, this tire actually, because I just lost my Winky, so I'm gonna have to use the stupid ass tire anyway. I'm gonna have to carefully maneuver it onto the moving platform, make sure it doesn't fall in the pit. Yay. Now I can jump up to the tire and up to the bonus room, and this is so much easier with a Winky, but I lost him, and taking the upper path earlier was almost entirely pointless. I say almost. Like I said before, it's usually a good thing to have an animal buddy around. I like Winky, we're bros, we're buddies. Though I did kind of let him run to his own death, but he'll be fine. He'll be in some later level without a scratch. He'll just be in a crate again for some reason. But hey look, it's another gimmick level! Stop and go station. This one has go barrels, and if you touch them they'll say stop, which causes the lights to turn on, which causes the croc rocks or rock rocks or whatever those guys are called to stop moving, and you kinda need them to stop moving because otherwise they'll kill you without you being able to kill them. That's one thing that always gets me very nervous in video games, where you have to be stealthy or chase sequences, pretty much things that involve unkillable enemies. So chase sequences that involve like a cliché boulder, those don't get me nervous because the boulder isn't alive, but if I'm running away from an unkillable walrus who wants to put me in his soup, crashed with insanity. And the croc rocks in this game, there's no way to kill them, no way to throw a barrel against their faces, you just have to avoid them by turning on the light, which they can't stand, I guess. But at least they're only in this level, and again, they're a gimmick. So now you got a little insight to my childhood. By the way, did I explain how to unlock one player hero mode? I don't think I did. One player hero mode is unlocked after you beat the game the first time with a 90% or more. Which is why you already saw a save file at the very beginning of the previous video. Oh, this last section here is also a pain in the ass because the light doesn't go on for very long, and I think at the very end you don't get a light, so you just have to avoid them for just a brief moment. And oh look, it's another Funky's Fishing, which I'm not gonna show off, but I am gonna talk about it. But in this one you can go octopus fishing, and the reason I bring that up is because my mom was addicted to octopus fishing for some reason and got me up to like 99 lives before I even finished the game. So thank you, octopus fishing mother. Well, why does that sound gross? Oh goddammit, Japan. Oh, by the way, for anyone who might want to use this Let's Play as a guide to beat levels or get the 100% or stuff like that, just thought I'd let you know that while there are differences between the Super Nintendo version and the Game Boy Advance version, all the level design and the places of the bonus rooms are still exactly the same. Though there are some pretty random changes between the two versions. For one, a lot of the levels are made brighter or different aesthetics, like one world and the next world actually, in the original it was a night level, but in this version it's dawning or something like that. Yeah, and things are just made brighter. It's probably because the original Game Boy Advance didn't have a backlight until the SP did, so they made it easier for you to see everything on screen. But there are also just other random changes. For example, the beavers. In the original the beavers were just normal brown beavers. In this version they're greenish for no particular reason. What else? The overworlds are completely different for no reason. It doesn't really matter too much because the levels are still in the same order, and I like the ones in this version better. The balloon graphic is different. Also some differences in other enemy colors, like Kremlings have colors changed around and just simple stuff like that. There is difference between the bosses, between some of the bosses at least. Most of the bosses are still the same, but I'll explain what is changed between the bosses when we actually get to the bosses that were changed. A few modes were added in this version, like the Funky's Fishing and the Candy Kong's Dance Studio. There's also a time attack mode, which you can select from the main menu. Oh, and one thing that's actually pretty nice, they added a photo album where you need to collect the photos. Sometimes photos are hidden in the levels, sometimes you get a picture from killing a certain enemy a certain amount of times. You also get photos for clearing Funky's Fishing and Diddy Kong's Dance Studio. The thing is, those photos are turned off during one player hero mode. I'm not sure why they removed the photos entirely, but I'm better off for it because now I don't have to give myself another goal by finding every single picture. What do I do to myself? So yeah, those are some changes between the Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance version. Not much, but small things. The general game is still the same. So again, you would be able to use this playthrough as a guide even if you're playing the Super Nintendo version, because the bonus room locations and the levels are still the same, even though some of them might look different, but still the same level. Those bananas by the bee there you can get by cartwheel jumping in midair, by the way. Thought I'd bring that up for an example where you might want to use the cartwheel jump, even though they're just bananas. You're bananas. Anyway, we're at the end of the world, meaning we're gonna have to fight a boss, and it's Necky's nuts. Gross. So we have a tire in the middle, we have a big ass bird head. We'll never see the rest of this bird, by the way. We only know him as a head, but he pukes coconuts at us while he's being invincible, then he stops being invincible when we can jump on him. So there's not much to it. He is made a little harder than the pathetic beaver boss from the first world, so I would say this game has a proper difficulty curve, at least in the bosses. Or in the main game as well, I guess, though I can't say I've ever paid too much attention to it. But we beated the boss and beated the second world, so join me next time when we go to the third world, Vine Valley. See you then. Oh, by the way, between every world we can see the pirate ship moving around. Thought I'd bring that up. It's the final boss.